Hello everybody and welcome back to Slingcore's Survival. You can see here I piled up all that diamond ore that I got last episode while mining deepslate with my silk pick. And also I have a Fortune 3 mending pick. I replaced the bookshelves in there. I didn't actually make enough bookshelves, I just stole them out the side. And I want to see how many diamonds I'm going to get from this. I'm excited to do this, and go down in the comments before I do this and tell me how many you think I'm going to get. It can be a little game and see if you guess it right. Oh, a grand total of 1 stack and 44 diamonds, which that's a good amount of diamonds. I don't think I've ever had that many diamonds in a Minecraft world, so I'm going to go put those in my chest and then meet you down in the basement to continue working on it. So here we are back in the basement to finish it out. And one thing that I want to try is show more footage of me actually doing things and building things, because usually I just build it and then I cut to the completed build and I'm like, oh, this is what I built, and explain it a little bit. But I think it might be kind of cool to show a little bit more of the live process. Now, I'm probably not going to show all the boring stuff, like right now I'm just replacing all the walls and ceilings. So I might not show all of that, but in terms of the actual details, I might want to explain it more in sort of a live format. Might be kind of difficult to get used to at first since I don't usually do live commentaries, but it'll probably be something like I'm doing right now where I'm just digging and sort of talking and explaining. And hopefully it works. If it doesn't, I guess I'll just change up my style back to what it used to be for the next episode. But I think it might be kind of cool to do this. Also, I'm probably not going to talk while I'm digging all this out because that'd be pretty boring to watch. So I'm going to do the floors and ceilings and walls, and then once I get to the actual details, I'll talk during that. So I've been slowly changing out the floors and walls, and I wasn't really sure what to put on the walls, so I came up with this goofy little pig thing. It has some horns or tusks or whatever, and glowstone in the eyes. I'm not going to keep it because it looks a little bit goofy, to be honest, but I thought you might want to see it. And also I ran out of spruce wood, so I went up to plant some trees, and there's something a little bit off about them. Also, some cats have been spawning down here, I think from the villagers. But yeah, there's something a little bit off about these trees, and I'm not sure what really caused it. I hope it's not night, so... Well, okay, it's night. But yeah, all the leaves are just gone. And I don't know why. I mean, I did build that little gold and netherrack thing down there, and apparently there's a character called, like, Herobrine or something that's supposed to take leaves off trees, but I only lit that for like 1 second on accident, so it shouldn't be causing anything. But either way, I haven't seen any other things go wrong on this world, so even if these leaves are gone, it's not that big of a deal. I can still get the wood, and yeah, hopefully nothing else weird like this happens. Also, I think I forgot to mention before that I got the pre-release for Optifine 1.19. It previously wasn't out, and at least for me, Optifine does a lot better job at optimization than Sodium. Some people say Sodium's better, but for me, Optifine just loads the world a lot quicker. And so if you see that I have any dynamic lighting, that Enderman almost scared me, oh boy. So if you see that I have any dynamic lighting, that's because Optifine is here, and also we have the better glass now. I like that glass a lot better. So yeah, I'm gonna dig these trees and then continue working on the basement. So here we are back in this section of the basement, and at least the walls and floors and ceilings are completed. I know the lava lights might have been a bad idea last episode, but for this they seem fine. There's nothing wooden above them, and they're not affecting the logs. So on this side we have the nether section, which is indicated by the warped logs and the shroom lights, and on this side is the overworld section, and you'll see more what I mean by that as I continue with the build. In this area I want to have sort of a nether landscape, and in this area it's going to be more of an overworld landscape. But before I get to build that, I want to kill these endermen that just walks themselves into this boat. So hopefully I can get any pearl. Nope. And no ender pearl. Okay, that's fine. Would have been nice to get an ender pearl from them, but I guess we don't get one today. So basically, what I'm gonna do in this area is build, whoops, that's on the wrong orientation, is build a sort of nether landscape. And I know that might sound a little bit weird at first, but I have a purpose for it. It's not just gonna be a random landscape. In the middle of each landscape, so when I build this right on this block, there's going to be a contraption or a little bit of a structure built on it. And what that structure is going to have in it is a piece of soul sand. On the nether side, that piece of soul sand is not going to be lit, and on the overworld side it is going to be lit. Basically, what that's meant to show or represent is that whoever used to live down here came up with a device that can basically cure nether blocks. So in here, it'd be all nether, it would be unlit, and in there, it'd be overworld blocks, and it would be lit. So basically, found a way to cure the nether blocks. And I thought it'd be interesting because I always see people do builds where the nether is leaking into the overworld, and people don't usually do builds where the overworld is going into the nether. But I figured the scientist or whoever lived down here could have figured out a way to do that. And obviously I could have just gone right into the nether and started building, you know, overworld blocks, but I wanted to come up with a story of how he did it, and so I figured I could build these two rooms to sort of illustrate that without necessarily writing it out or explaining it. I know I just did explain it, but hopefully anyone just coming down here could look in here and see, oh wait, that's like the same exact landscape. Also, yeah, they're going to be the same exact thing. There's not going to be their own individual one. Everything that I do on this nether side, I'm going to copy over just with the overworld block counterparts. Also, I was thinking of some point maybe removing these doors and just making it fully glass, but while I'm building this, I want to keep the doors in place. And also at first, I was going to make this rim out of quartz, and then I went into the nether and was looking around, I'm like, you know what? It's going to be kind of a lot of work to make quartz, so I didn't want to do that. I just decided diorite's close enough. Okay, so now we can work on this central bit, and I want to sort of base this off of the nether reactors from old Pocket Edition. And I'm not entirely sure exactly how they looked. I know that those had gold blocks, but I'm going to use redstone in this case just because I used redstone in that experimentation room over there. And I don't have any soul sand on me at the moment, but there is going to be one in there. And then this is where the fire would be. And I think in the... Oh man, I need to remember how it went. I think there was cobble here, and then I think it went something like this. I never actually built another reactor back in the days of Pocket Edition. I don't know. I don't know if that looks right. I'll look it up and then come back. Okay, so that is correct. It just didn't look like it because of the gold blocks. And so yeah, basically I never actually built another reactor, but I always wanted to. Like, I always would go into creative mode and see the nether reactor, and I was always like, oh man, what's that thing? But I was too little, I didn't have a phone or any real way to look up what it was and what it was used for, so it was always just some interesting weird block that I never knew what it was, and recently I figured out, well, not recently, but I ended up figuring out what it was, but never actually got to activate one when I played Pocket Edition, so it's kind of cool to build this here. So yeah, and this one, it's going to be unlit, and then over there, it will be lit. Alright, so now I have to decide on what to add into here. I do have some warped stems so we can build a tree. I might want to build a little, just add some texture into the ground. I don't want to make this thing look unnatural though. Let's see. It's kind of difficult because this almost forces you to divide it into quadrants, even though that's not really how the game naturally generates. And also I have 7 blocks of lava, so or 7 lava buckets, so maybe we can come up with something over here. See, that's the same exact shape that I built over here, is what I did here. Whoops. And I don't want it to be like that. So let's see, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah, this isn't the right shape that I want. Let's see. Also, you instantly break netherrack with this pick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, I guess. And I'm also gonna take some soul sand and actually replace these blocks with it, because soul sand usually surrounds lava in the nether. Not always, but I think it'll just be a nice detail to add in. Let's put another one there. Put this lava in and see what it looks like. Oh, there's the Optifine dynamic lighting showing up. There we go. Ow! Okay, well, I don't know why I did that. I've died several times by making that same mistake. Oh god. That is not nice. Here, eat some steak. That'll heal my burns, right? That's how it works, yes. Okay, if you're ever getting burnt, just remember, eat your steak. That's alright, I don't know. I might want to take that out and put a netherrack back in. Maybe build up a little bit of soul sand around here. Kind of like this, maybe. It all really depends on how this is going to look from the outside. So I think I'm going to get rid of this soul sand here, because I do want to keep this visible so that then you can compare between the two. And maybe back here I'll try adding in a tree. Now, the nether trees are kind of different than normal trees, and I can't make this too tall of one, because then it'll hit the ceiling and I don't want to hit that. So let's see, maybe, yeah, that's basically as far away as I'm going to make it. And maybe, usually they extend out a couple blocks. They go out like decently far. Yeah, I'll go like that. And actually remove that block there. And then I'm just gonna build down a little bit on the sides. I don't know how far I'm gonna get with only 6 warped blocks. Probably not very far. Yeah, not very far at all. So I'm definitely gonna have to go back into the nether and grab some warped blocks. Does this even look good? It looks alright. So viewing this from the outside again, I might want to move that. Yeah, I think this is going to get moved. And I might put in a little patch of gravel here and move that structure over to the back. I guess this isn't a structure, it's just kind of a hill. Maybe we can blend it in with this soul sand and make it even a little bit taller. There we go. And then I'll go grab some gravel, put it in this area. See, do I even have any gravel in here? I probably do in one of this chests. It's very, here we go. There's our gravel. There we go. And I'm gonna have this more on the side because again I don't want it to be divided up into quadrants. And I might actually make this go a block or two deeper, just in this spot here. And usually gravel doesn't form in diagonal lines like that, so we're gonna want to change that up. And maybe take out these and put in some gravel too. Oh no, see, this is sort of what happens when you try, at least when I try and make things natural. I just copy the exact same shape over here. I think that's just sort of something that humans do, and it's not really helpful for building natural things in Minecraft. We'll just have one little lone piece of gravel there. Not too terrible. Maybe this one I'll lower by 1 block. And that way, no, that did not look good. Yeah, that's not too bad. I think I might tweak this a little bit. I'm definitely going to need to grab some more of these mushroomy blocks to add to this tree, and then I'm just going to go ahead and copy this design over onto the other side. So here's the finished product. I did change up the gravel a little bit, and I finished up the tree, and as you can see, I copied it over into the overworld side. It doesn't look quite as good as I thought it was going to. I think maybe because I was expecting there to be grass on the dirt, but then now that I'm thinking about it, if you're converting netherrack into dirt, it's probably not going to have grass on it unless it's like the nylium stuff. And also, I had no clue what to put for the overworld counterpart to a shroomlight, so I just put in a jack-o'-lantern. I figured that'd be fine. And as you can see on this side, that machine is lit. Also, I decided I don't really like that these doors are here. I feel like they kind of get in the way of the whole point of this room. Like, they're kind of nice and they do make sense, you know, because the guy who's doing these experiments would want to be able to make his way into those rooms. But in terms of aesthetics, they just don't look good. I'd rather be able to have a full, nice view of the garden and not be able to enter that room. See? Much better. I can just get a clear, unobstructed view, whereas on this, it's like you can't even see the main event, which is the conversion machine. It's not really a machine, I guess. I don't know what I should call it. It is a contraption somewhat. Whoops. I did not want to take out that. Oh man, and of course my inventory's full. Eh, throw a stick down. Actually, I need flint less than I need a stick. There we go. Is this going to be enough glass? I think so. Nope, no it's not. That's fine. I do have some more. But yeah, the doors are just getting in the way of the main event. Like, the whole point is like you walk in here and you're like, "Oh, look at this." And it sort of tells a story on its own. And with those doors in the way, you just couldn't see it. I do think I'm going to put an iron door here because in the next room, this is going to be where the portal is. And I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to put in there, so I'm going to think about it a little bit and then start working on it. Okay, so I've thought about it for a bit, and now I have a much better idea of what I want to put in here. I'm thinking of bringing this room back to the original style that I was going to have for the basement, which is a deep slate walls and a polished diorite floor. And I know I'm going to have to redig all that deep slate, but I also have another diamond pick now, so it's going to be a lot easier. And as far as what to actually put in this room, there's going to be another portal here at the end. And then I kind of want to have this be like an armory, like somewhere where whoever came down here is going to get geared up for his trip to the nether. And I'm going to do that by having some dugout sections in here, and that's what I'm going to make right now. I do want to have a little bit of buffer space, so if we went 3 blocks in from here and 3 blocks away from the portal, 1, 2, 3, I'd leave this much space to put in the armory section, which is not quite as far as I wanted. I wanted each space to be 5 blocks wide, then there's going to be 1 space in between for a pillar, and then another 5 blocks. So I'm going to extend this hallway down and then start digging out a section. Well, a few sections to be exact. And it's also going to be the same thing on the other side. And in these little armory sections, there's going to be armor stands, and they're basically just going to be wearing the junk armor that I have in some of my chests. because I don't want to put actually good armor on them. And hopefully that'll look good. You're not going to be able to actually see the durability, so I don't think it's going to look too bad. And yeah, so I'm going to extend this hallway down, dig out these sections, fill everything in, and then show you what I've done. I just was starting to dig and extend this room, and apparently I broke up into this area, which I think, yeah, this is actually that little, it used to be almost like a ravine, and so that means that my house is right there. So we're pretty far away from the library at this point. And this isn't too inconvenient because now I don't have to fill as much in. Well, I don't have to remove as much stone and replace it. I'm still gonna have to fill the same amount in, but yeah, just something kind of interesting. Okay, so this room is mostly finished at this point. I love how the nether portal is at the end of that. It's huge, and I think the purple goes really well with the deep slate, which was actually a lot of fun to work with. There's so many different things you can turn it into and different combinations you can use, and especially this in regular deep slate, there's so many different orientations you can use on it. However, this room isn't perfect, even though I think the deep slate looks really cool, and part of that I think is because it looks too bright in my opinion. And I think the reason it might look too bright is either because of this, well, one, because that's a lot of glowstone, but two, because of this bright white dye right up here. So I'm going to replace that, but before I do that, I want to take all this soul fire so that I don't drop any slabs on it and they don't get burnt up. And also another thing that I might want to do is actually lower the fire down one block just so that it's less difficult to walk into. And as I do this, I'll sort of show my strategy for making this all random. What I'll do is I'll just start at a certain point and basically dig a little random shape. Then fill it in with a block. Any random of these 3 blocks. I get my pick and then I put my 3 different, or however many different blocks you have in your palette. And I just put them here and I'll just pick a random one. So let's say maybe in this corner, this seems like a good enough area. We can put in the polished deep slate. And then in this spot, we probably want maybe a shape like this of the deep slate bricks. And over here, we can do polished. And then I actually don't have any cobbled deep slate slabs, unfortunately, so I'll go make one of those. And you can sort of work different designs in just by making some random shapes. It doesn't have to be completely random. Like, if you looked at this build, you probably could notice shapes that are repeated. Like right here. I just repeated that same shape. But as long as you do it in enough different ways, whoops, I forgot to break that block there. As long as you do it in enough different ways that that the pattern doesn't become noticeable when just looking at it with the plain eye or just looking at it quickly, it should end up looking pretty good. So here's that little 3 pattern again. And I'm just going to put in with the deep slate slabs. And sometimes I'll leave a block like this and sort of come back to it later on once I have a pattern already established. Let's put in, whoops, I didn't want to put that one there. I'm going to continue the deep slate tiles along here. And I guess I already made a shape like that, so I wouldn't want to do it again. Instead, maybe I'll make it like a T shape. Whoops. Did not mean to break that block. I'll just, boom. It's a full slab block up there. It's fine. Also, one thing I'm not really sure of is if double slab blocks, what I mean is if I go like this, is this considered a full block or can light still pass through it? That's one thing I'm not entirely sure about. And then in this section right here, since I haven't used this deep slate brick in here, I can just sort of fill in. So basically the way I do this strategy, make a shape, add another one, fill in with a block that you haven't used. So in this case, I'll throw in some cobbled deep slate. Don't worry about the lapis and coal. I have enough. And I just sort of work my way down by using that strategy. So that's basically the strategy that I used throughout this entire room. On the walls I didn't use the cobbled deep slate, and then when I got to the ceiling and the floors I added in the cobbled deep slate as well as the normal deep slate. I don't think you can make slabs out of regular deep slate, which is why I didn't add them in there. But yeah, that's basically the process. And it still looks a little bit bright, so I might start taking out some of this glowstone. I'll experiment with the glowstone, move this sulfire down a bit, and then see what that looks like. So this is the room now that I've made those changes, and I think that the fire looks a lot better when it's down a block because, well, one, the hallway is less claustrophobic. You don't feel like you're going to accidentally bump into fire, and two, it acts more as light this way, I feel like, and gets less in your view of what's going to be in here, which is going to be the armor stands like I talked about. And then I realized that I didn't even need any glowstone up here. At first I thought I was going to need it in order to properly light the room, but it turns out that's not the case. I was going into the F3 menu and looking at the different block lights, and it seems to be 3 in the corners, so I don't think any mobs should spawn in here. But anyway, I need to go up and grab some armor for the armor stands, and I guess if a mob spawns in here while I'm gone getting it, then we're gonna need to come up with a new thing for the light. But if none spawn, then we should be good. So here I am at the storage room, and I have a big, okay, so this is some of the chest of armor that I have, and the main thing that I want is gold. So this is one set of gold armor, and I'm just gonna see how many full sets of gold I can make. So that looks like 2 full sets of gold. And do I have any boots in this one? Yes. So let's see. We're gonna want 4 chest plates, 4 boots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 legs, and 4 helmets. So I think I'm short a gold helmet. And I'm not wearing one, so I guess we're just gonna have to settle for an iron one. Let me just throw this stone into here. And I might have to come back up here to get the weapons, but I was talking to my brother and he said that you can't even put weapons on an armor stand in Java Edition. That's only a Bedrock thing. And I didn't even know that because I actually mostly play Minecraft on this realm, which is on Bedrock Edition. And so I just assumed that all armor stands you could put a item into their hand, but apparently that's not the case. And also, I'm going to need to spawn-proof these roofs because I came out here after night and a creeper jumped down and blew this wall open. Luckily, the villagers are safe and still in there, but I'm going to need to finish fixing that up. Did this Enderman take a... Okay, well, whatever. That's not the point. I hope he didn't take anything. And now let's get these armor stands in. I think this is going to look sick once I actually put on the armors. Let's see. Boom. And can I give him a sword? Nope. Okay, so it turns out my brother was correct about that. Unfortunately, no weapons. But at least we're going to have some super cool golden armored armor stands in here. And we only have one more left to go. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, we're just going to have to settle for the iron helmet, unfortunately. I remember that. Oh, that's looking awesome. Yeah, so I can really just think of whoever was in here would come in here, grab his armor, grab his set of armor from his many, and then go out into the nether. And I'm going to wait till next episode to go through here. And I actually broke the original nether portal to rebuild this one. Or not rebuild this one, just build this one for the first time. And it's going to be awesome. Now all I need to do to finish this place is, well, one, check if this Enderman actually got anything. Let's see. Are there any pieces of dirt missing? No. Okay, that's good. And one nifty trick that I figured out, if you want to get rid of an Enderman but don't want to hit him. Whoops. Okay, that's waterlogged. if I push them over, and if you just tap water on them, they teleport away, but they don't register that you actually hit them, so they're gone. They're not bugging you anymore, but they won't attack. That's just something that I figured out that is pretty useful. And yeah, so now all I need to do is get rid of these chests, reassimilate all these items into my main storage, and then this place will be done. I see what the Enderman's trying to do. Let out all my chickens like you let out all my pigs. Nope. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I would look you in the eye, but you might get mad, so. Nope. Do not let them out. You know what? You know what you get? You get to go for a swim. Bum, get out. What does this guy think he's doing? First, he goes into my nice environment. Then he goes into my chicken farm. Then he comes back in the basement. Leave this area. What? There he goes. And he better not be in my chicken farm when I go back up. Oh, you thought you were just going to go over there? Nope. Here. This is what happens to people like you. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Get stuck in a boat. Get out of here. And I stole your eye too? Stupid Enderman. What are you doing? Well, the chests are finally removed, which makes this basement complete. And it only took long enough for these vines to fully grow to the ceiling for us to finish it. Definitely didn't take any more time than that. And that's going to be it for this episode. I'm glad to have fully finished this basement. I think it was a super cool project and super cool build. And I like it better than the librarians being down here because all I needed was that mending one. And also, I tried out that new style today where I basically talked while I was playing, so go down in the comments and let me know if you like that style or if you want me to go back to what I did in the previous episode and I showcase, then build, then showcase. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you in the next one.